Monday, 19 December 2022. This one, I want to talk about something very sinister. And to many, it may sound like a fable, but it's a reality. And people need to take note of it. I'm going to show you a slide, and I have spoken about this. Look at that. That is adrenochrome. And it says, remember that this war is really about. Where we go one, we go all, is much more than a rallying cry. It's a duty. It's a sacred calling. No coincidence that you are awake at this point in the journey. Now, I have spoken about I want to call it satanic activities that was going on in the Ukraine. And it is now common knowledge that there was a lot of organ harvesting happening in Ukraine, and that Ukraine is the major source of adrenochrome. I have spoken about the children that the Russian soldiers found in the camps close to Chernobyl, and the media, the mainstream media, is quiet about that. The numbers that are being published by the Russians, there's 38,000 children that were held in these camps and in basements and in horrific conditions. And then there was that nightmare in Mariupol after the Russians drove the Nazis out there and they started cleaning that place building by building. In the International Red Cross building's basement, they found a lot of fridges with organs in it, organs of children. This is satanic, and it is not something that is easy for me to talk about. And then I stumbled onto this, and this is a video. I didn't want to put the video up here. And the caption in this image is, they came into the spotlight as black transplantologists, and Elizabeth happened to arrive in the vicinity of Artemovsk 3 weeks ago, precisely because the AFU is currently suffering extremely heavy losses near Artemovsk. Now the Russians call Bakhmut Artemovsk. Now we all know about that battle that's going on at Bakhmut. The black transplantologists arrive near Artemovsk, where the armed forces of Ukraine are suffering losses. In the LPR they reported the appearance of black transplantologists near Artemovsk. They are engaged in the removal of organs from killed or mortally wounded Ukrainian soldiers. 3 weeks ago, the notorious Elizabeth Debrew arrived in this region. She arrived with representatives of the so-called Mozart PMC. I will now list their names, and then he lists all the names. These are supposedly members of the Mozart PMC. In fact, these people were exposed back in 2014-2015 when there were fierce battles on the territory of Donbass. They were exposed as black transplantologists, said Vitaly Kiselev, LPR police colonel. He emphasized that the black transplantologists have now arrived near Artemovsk in order to capitalize on the losses suffered by the AFU. They could not stand aside and not make money on this, on the organs of those AFU soldiers who today are dying in almost entire platoons or even battalions. Guys, this is brutal. And think about it. Those wounded soldiers are stripped of their organs for the organ market. And this is what Putin has said in one of his interviews, that this is one of the reasons why he could no longer stay out of the Donbass, because of what's happening there. And then there was the abduction of the Russian women for the sex industry, and many of them were sold in the Middle East. And then when he spoke about the children, I could see on his face, this guy is not going to play games anymore. And many children are abducted from the Donbass. That Ukraine is a viper pit. And the West, to my shock and dismay, is financing all of that. And Western citizens, taxpayers, are paying for what is happening there in the Ukraine. And the last 3 weeks it became clear. In the face of all the evidence, the West has chosen to support the Nazis. How is that? How did we fall this far that we are part of a civilization that now supports Nazis? Some of my ancestors died fighting the Nazis in Europe. 20 million Russians died fighting them. And now the West is supporting them. Think about that and let it sink in. What is happening in the Ukraine, as that guy so rightly say, be awake. I'm sitting here in the dark, it's load shedding, stage 6, and then I just now saw a damn article where there's an energy expert that predicts that from 1st of January will be stage 8. I hope it's not true. It has started raining, for which I'm very glad. And please, give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.